All right, let's dive into something that, well, so many of us have found confusing and honestly pretty painful. We're talking about the powerful, almost chemical pull of toxic attraction.
It really boils down to this one big question, right? Why on earth do we find ourselves drawn, sometimes like a magnet, to people we know are just not good for us?
Okay, first things first, and this is super important. If you're nodding along right now, know this. It is not a character flaw. It's not about you being weak or making bad choices. What we're really talking about here is a series of surprisingly common and very powerful psychological traps.
So how does this whole thing even begin? Well, almost every single time, it starts with this perfect, almost movie-like beginning.
This is the initial hook. You might have heard it called love bombing. They're texting you all day, showering you with compliments. They make you feel like you are the most important person in the entire world. All of their attention is just laser focused on you. And yeah, it usually feels a little too good to be true.
And here's the crazy part. There's a real biological reason it feels so amazing. Your brain is getting flooded with dopamine. That's the brain's pleasure chemical. You're basically getting a chemical high. And that high makes you think, wow, this connection, this person is different.
But that perfect beginning, it's not just happening by chance. It's all about setting the stage for what comes next. And that next phase is the unpredictable trap.
And the shift, it's jarring. You go from the before, where they were all praise and instant replies, to now. All of a sudden, there's distance, silence. The person who was obsessed with you is suddenly acting cold or just gone.
This is where we get to the core psychological trick at play here. It's called intermittent reinforcement. Basically, it's an unpredictable pattern of rewards. It's actually one of the most powerful ways to create an addiction-like craving. Think about it. It's the exact same principle that makes slot machines so impossible to walk away from.
And this quote just nails it. They ignore you all day, you're feeling awful, anxious, confused, and then boom, you get that one single text, that little bit of attention. It hits you so much harder than all the constant attention did before. It's this huge rush of relief, and your brain just wants to feel that again. So yeah, we're hooked on this chemical roller coaster. But it goes deeper than that. There are other psychological reasons we find it so hard to leave, even when that little voice in our head is screaming that something is wrong.
And it really comes down to two hidden reasons we stay: the allure of mystery and the comfort of familiarity.
Okay, so let's talk about mystery. When someone is super vague with you, your brain just can't let it go, right? It goes into overdrive trying to figure them out. You're replaying conversations, analyzing every little thing they do. That vagueness is what creates a mental obsession. You just can't stop thinking about them. I mean, this example is perfect. You ask, "Where were you?" and they hit you with, "Just busy, don't worry about it." That's not an answer. It's totally dismissive. So your mind just starts spinning, trying to fill in those blanks, which of course just keeps them front and center in your head. All right, now for that second reason, familiarity. And this one's a little deeper. If you grew up with inconsistent affection, where love was sometimes there and sometimes wasn't, that up and down emotional roller coaster can actually feel, well, normal. It can feel like home. And because of that, a calm, stable relationship can actually feel boring or like it's missing something.
So, all of this brings us to what might be the most important takeaway of all. And that's learning how to tell the difference between real, genuine attraction and just pure anxiety.
Because here's the thing. That feeling, that intense, can't eat, can't sleep feeling that we think is attraction, a lot of the time, it's not attraction at all. It's just a messy cocktail of emotional confusion, anxiety, and those chemical highs we were just talking about. And you can see the difference laid out so clearly here. In a toxic dynamic, you're anxious, you're overthinking everything. The communication is vague and unpredictable, and you start to question your own self-worth. But look at healthy attraction. You feel secure, you feel calm. The communication is clear and consistent, and you feel good about yourself. Your self-worth is confirmed. Which brings us to the final, really powerful question to leave you with. The next time you feel that obsessive, overwhelming pull towards someone who also makes you feel terrible, just pause and ask yourself, is this person truly special, or are they just triggering a psychological pattern in your brain?